So I have the ground feeding in here, and I try to equally distribute the ground. And then the purple wire there is where the drain is. So there's a center point. I'm going to come off there. The center right in between those two wires here. And then the purple in between those two wires, I'll come out there. And then on this other side here, hard to see, but I have 120 ohm resistor, and I have a 100 ohm resistor on each gate of the Mosfet. So, you know, a total of 220 ohms, but the 100 is on each gate of the Mosfet and 120 on the two lines coming in. So you want to make sure that these sets here don't touch these sets, the heat shields, because they're connected to the drain. I made the first mistake when I made this board here, and components were too close together. They touched and things started smoking, and it wasn't good. So I should have made it on the breadboard first. I didn't. So this time it's on the breadboard, and I'm going to about ready to flip the switch and see what kind of signal I get on my oscilloscope. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's flip the switch. Oh, that's a good sign. That's a good sign right there. Okay, we got 2 square waves. They're pretty decent. And that's a good frequency, about 69 hertz. Okay, that's good. That's a good sign. You see I have both my probes hooked up to right to the gates. So, in theory, this should work. And the next step would be to come off the drains into a transistor or transformer, and then see what kind of power I can get. The first time I did it, I was able to light some light bulbs, which is 2. With 4, I should be able to get a brighter bulb. So, yes, it's looking good. It's time to assemble it into some kind of container. So I have this like ammo box or whatever, and I got the transformer in here. I cut the leads down a little shorter. I put some quick connects on here, and I have one outlet coming out right here. So my idea is to, since I took it off the breadboard and I made a PCB for it, which works rather well, I'm going to try to slide this under here, and I'm going to try to squeeze this battery in here. So we'll see if that works out. Now for the final test. Everything's inside the container. I didn't put a switch on here, but I'm just going to disconnect it when I need to. Connect it here, and I have a little switch on the board here that I will turn on, and I will show you how this thing works. So let's get in here and turn this thing on. Got a little, and you can see up here, there's my light. And you can see it's plugged into right here. So this tiny little battery has got a 60-watt bulb. So it works pretty effectively. So let's close this thing up here. Now we have, as you can see, a portable unit for power. Now, providing I can only generate 60, maybe 80, 100 watts. It's really low power stuff, but it's still pretty useful. And there you have the circuit that I made in Fritzing. It's pretty much the same circuit you can find online, except for I added 2 Mosfets. Instead of the 220 ohm resistor, I split it out between the 120 ohm and the 100 ohm on each gate. And then I took out the potentiometer and I put in a 330K resistor right off of pin 1 and 3.